Lyraya had always been curious about humans. Even before her species formed a friendship treaty with Earth, she used to watch human culture broadcasts with the same excitement a child felt when learning a new game. Humans were loud, unpredictable, dramatic, and full of emotion. They argued easily, laughed even easier, and changed their minds every few minutes. To Lyraya, they were a beautiful kind of chaos. So when she was selected for the new interspecies cultural exchange program, she almost glowed with pride. Her people's bodies did not glow in the normal sense, but her skin took on a brighter, shimmery tone whenever she felt excited or nervous. On the day she boarded the shuttle to Earth, she looked like a soft lantern floating through the hallway. Evan Ward heard about this alien lantern girl weeks before she arrived. He worked as a lead engineer in the Earth Cultural Welcome Center, a large facility built to host visitors from countless worlds. Most of his work involved creating safe spaces, adjusting climates for alien comfort, and solving problems before they even started. He expected the usual duties: checking translation devices, balancing temperatures, adjusting gravity plates. What he did not expect was that an alien girl would accidentally propose marriage to him on her first day. On the morning of Lyraya's arrival, the Welcome Center was buzzing with energy. Reporters, diplomats, scientists, and curious citizens filled the observation hall. Large banners displayed messages in multiple languages, including Lyraya's. Evan stood near the platform doing his final checks. Grav plates stable, air filters green. Linguistic system synced, he muttered, tapping on his holographic tablet. No surprises, please. Not today. A soft humming filled the room as the alien shuttle descended. The silver oval-shaped craft landed smoothly, its surface shimmering like living metal. The door slid open, and Lyraya stepped out. She was slender, tall and graceful, with soft, iridescent skin that changed color depending on her mood. At that moment, she was glowing a cheerful peach-gold tone. Her wide eyes sparkled as she looked around at the humans, smiling warmly. Evan felt a small jolt in his chest. Whoa, she's kind of adorable. Lyraya approached the human welcoming team, bowing slightly. "Greetings, friends of Earth," she said, her voice musical and light. "I am Lyraya of the Atreus people. I thank you for the honor of learning your ways." Her accent was smooth, and her translation device perfectly matched her tone. The crowd applauded. Evan stepped forward to introduce himself. "Hello, Lyraya. My name is Evan. I'll be your technical guide while you're here." Lyraya brightened instantly. "Ah, you are Evan. I was told you understand many strange human machines. I look forward to learning from you." Evan felt his face warming. "Well, I'll do my best." The briefing began. People asked Lyraya polite questions. She answered happily. Everything was going fine until the cultural greeting demonstration started. A human presenter walked onto the stage with a wide smile. "Now, for fun, we'll show Lyraya some unusual human phrases from different Earth cultures," he said. "These phrases are harmless greetings, historical, friendly, and interesting." He wasn't lying. They were historical. But harmless? Evan wasn't sure. Each card the presenter held had a traditional phrase from a different region on Earth. Old expressions, greetings that weren't used much anymore. Humans loved demonstrating ancient customs to aliens. It made them feel like Earth was mysterious and deep. The presenter displayed the first card. "Try saying this one, Lyraya. It means, 'I respect your spirit.'" Lyraya looked at the phrase, smiled, and repeated it. The crowd clapped. Then came the second card. "And this one means, 'We stand as friends.'" Lyraya copied it perfectly. Evan relaxed. But then, the third card came out. The presenter grinned far too widely. "This one," he said, "was used centuries ago in a small Earth culture. It roughly translates to, 'I give you my hand and heart.' But it's just a poetic greeting now." Evan's eyes widened. No, 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 no. That is definitely a marriage proposal phrase in that old culture. Before he could speak, Larea looked at the card, smiled sweetly, walked straight toward Evan, placed her hand over her heart, and said in a warm, clear voice, "I give you my hand and heart, Evan Ward." The room froze. Dead silence. Then half the hall erupted into laughter, cheers, camera flashes, and muffled gasps. Some people clapped wildly. A reporter shouted, "Human-alien marriage proposal on day 1." Evan's brain crashed like an overloaded computer. "Larea, wait! That phrase, Larea blinked at the reaction. Her skin glowed a bright pinkish orange, a sign of confusion mixed with joy. "Oh, did I say something pleasing? Humans laugh when pleased." "Yes?" Evan covered his face. The presenter looked like he wanted to teleport away. "Larea," Evan said softly, "that phrase you used, in old Earth culture it meant a marriage proposal." She tilted her head, eyes widening slightly. "Marriage? As in union with you?" "Yes. And it was directed at you because—" "I said your name?" "Yes." Larea blinked slowly. "Oh." Her skin shifted into a bright, embarrassed lavender hue. "Oh." The audience burst out laughing again, but in a warm, affectionate way. They already adored her. Larea looked down at her hands, then at him. "Evan Ward, I did not mean to ask for your lifelong partnership." "I know," he said quickly. "I know it was just a misunderstanding." She took a deep breath. "Do humans take such proposals very seriously?" "Well, not anymore. But it's still a big deal. Especially when done in front of, all these people." The crowd giggled. Larea covered her glowing face with both hands. "I created an incident on my first hour on Earth." The presenter rushed forward, apologizing. "It's my fault. I didn't think—" "No," Larea said suddenly, lifting her chin. "It is mine. I came to learn. Mistakes are part of learning." Evan admired her for that confidence. She continued softly. "Still, if I caused you trouble, I apologize, Evan Ward." "It's okay," he said, smiling despite himself. "Honestly, it's kind of a legendary start." The hall cheered again. The moment had already become iconic. Later that day, after the crowd dispersed, Evan walked Larea through the Welcome Center. She followed him silently for a moment, her glow more muted. Finally, she spoke. "Evan, do you feel uncomfortable because of the mistake I made?" "Not at all," he said. "Embarrassed? Yes. Surprised? Definitely. But uncomfortable? No." She let out a small breath of relief. "My people communicate feelings very clearly," she explained. "We do not joke with romantic concepts. Hearing myself propose marriage, even by accident, it felt strange, like speaking a story that is not mine." "I get it," he said gently. "Humans joke about everything, sometimes too much." She nodded thoughtfully. "That is why I came here. To understand humans better. You change emotions so quickly. You make light of serious words. You laugh even when confused. It is fascinating." Evan rubbed his neck. "Well, we do try to keep things fun." She looked at him curiously. "Did you find it fun?" He hesitated. "Honestly, it was funny, but only because I knew you didn't mean it." Her eyes softened. "Thank you for understanding." They walked a little farther until Larea stopped suddenly. "Evan Ward." "Yes?" "I want to correct today's mistake properly." She placed her hand over her heart again, but with a serious tone. "I offer you a new greeting. This one is from my people." She touched her forehead gently with 2 fingers. "It means, I am honored to walk beside you in learning." Evan smiled. "Then, I'm honored too." Her skin glowed a warm golden color. "Then we can begin again." And with that small gesture, part of the embarrassment faded. What remained was something new, Gentle, unexpected, almost like the first spark of friendship. Neither of them knew it yet, but this funny mistake would be the start of something far deeper than either had imagined. The next few days after the accidental proposal incident were unexpectedly peaceful. People still joked about it on the news, but the jokes were gentle and friendly. Laraya's face appeared on screens with cheerful headlines like "Alien Girl Accidentally Proposes to Human Engineer" and "First Interstellar Engagement? Not really." Most humans found the situation adorable, and many even admired how gracefully Laraya handled it. Laraya watched these news clips with a light blush on her shimmering skin. Her people rarely joked about personal matters, so seeing humans laugh kindly about her mistake gave her a warm feeling. They weren't mocking her, they were welcoming her. But what surprised her the most was how Evan treated her afterward. He didn't tease her, he didn't act awkward or distant. Instead, he stayed patient, steady, and gentle, as if her embarrassing moment didn't define her at all. This simple kindness made something inside her soften. On the morning of the fourth day, they began her official human culture orientation. Evan was her assigned guide, so they spent most of their time together. "Today," Evan said with a small smile, "you'll learn about human creativity." Laraya tilted her head, glowing faintly. "Creativity? Is that a special field of study?" "Kind of," Evan laughed. "Humans create things even when they don't need to. Art, music, games, stories. We love making things just because it feels good." "Ah," she said softly. "My people create only for purpose, function before beauty. You create beauty for its own sake." "Exactly." He led her into a large workshop filled with paints, instruments, craft tools, and even holographic sculpting equipment. Laraya's eyes widened. "It feels like many different worlds in one room." "That's pretty accurate." She watched as humans painted pictures, played soft melodies, and shaped clay. Every person moved differently, expressing themselves in their own way. Laraya's glow flickered in amazement. "You humans use emotion as part of creation." "Yeah," Evan said. "In fact, some of the best art comes from how we feel." She thought about that for a moment. Then, if a human is sad, do they create differently? "Very differently," he said. "Art becomes deeper or heavier, and when we're happy, art becomes bright and light." She turned her soft gaze toward a canvas being painted by a young girl. Bright yellow strokes danced across it like sunlight. "She must be happy." Evan nodded. "She looks happy, doesn't she?" Laraya's shimmering skin brightened in quiet wonder. "Humans turn feelings into colors." Evan smiled. "Pretty cool, right?" "Yes," she whispered. "Very cool." Over the next week, Laraya and Evan continued exploring various parts of human culture. Each day felt like a small adventure. She learned how humans loved storytelling, especially exaggerated stories filled with humor. She learned how humans teased each other to show affection. She learned why humans sometimes cried from happiness. But the most surprising thing she learned was how comfortable Evan was with silence. Her own species communicated openly and constantly. Silence was rare, but Evan was different. He didn't fill every moment with words. Sometimes he simply stood beside her, allowing her to observe the world quietly. She found it calming. One afternoon, they visited a botanical garden. Humans were scattered around, enjoying the peaceful area. Birds chirped, water trickled from a small fountain, and sunlight filtered through the leaves. Laraya walked slowly, taking in the warm earth breeze. "Your planet. It feels alive." Evan nodded. "It's home. Messy, noisy, filled with surprises, but home." She looked up at him. "Do you love it deeply?" He smiled gently. "Yeah, I do." Laraya paused near a patch of flowers, admiring their vibrant colors. "Evan Ward, are all humans like you?" He raised an eyebrow. "Like me? How so?" patient, kind, steady. She hesitated before adding softly, understanding. Evan rubbed the back of his neck, shy. Well, I try. I'm not perfect. She tilted her head. Perfect? That is not a concept I need. Her words startled him in a warm way. There was no flirtation in her tone, only honest sincerity. His chest tightened slightly, not uncomfortably, but in a quiet, pleasant way. Later that week, the diplomatic teams organized a cultural game night. It was supposed to be fun and simple, humans and aliens sharing popular games and activities. Lariah sat across from Evan, trying a human board game involving strategy. Her eyes narrowed in focus as she studied the pieces. You're taking this very seriously, Evan teased. I take learning seriously, she said firmly. It's just a game, he laughed. Games reveal the mind, she said confidently. Your moves show how you think. Uh-oh, Evan joked. Are you analyzing me? Yes, she said without blinking. He blinked. Oh. The humans around them laughed warmly. Lariah didn't understand why it was funny, but she gave them a polite smile anyway. After a few turns, she made a sudden move that completely surprised Evan. Wait, what? How did you... She looked at him with a soft glow. I watched your patterns. I learned. You're good at this. I observe well, she said simply. Evan leaned back jokingly. I should be scared of you. Why? Did I misunderstand a new expression again? She asked, concerned. No, it's just a joke, he explained quickly. It means you're impressive. Oh. Her glow brightened again. Then, thank you. Over the evening, laughter filled the room as humans and aliens bonded through games. But something gentle was growing in the quiet spaces between Evan and Lariah, something unspoken, but real. The next morning, they met again for her daily learning schedule. But as they walked through a long hallway of the Welcome Center, a small group of humans whispered excitedly behind them. There they are, the future couple. Do you think they'll actually get married someday? It'd be so romantic, Evan groaned quietly. People still aren't over that. Lariah glanced at him, puzzled. Do humans always speak so freely about personal matters? Pretty much, he sighed. She observed his expression. Does it bother you? Not really, he admitted. I'm just worried it bothers you. Lariah touched her fingertips together, a gesture from her culture expressing mild worry. I do not dislike their words. I only worry. It might create distance between us. Distance? Evan repeated. Yes. Her eyes lowered slightly. If humans keep joking about us, perhaps you will avoid me to stop rumors. Evan stopped walking. Lariah, I wouldn't avoid you. She looked up slowly. Truly? Truly. Her glow warmed again. Then I am relieved. They walked on, but something had changed. The space between them felt more fragile, more delicate, as if the idea of distance had made them both aware of how close they had become. That afternoon, Lariah asked to see human emotional media, movies, music, and stories known for deep feelings. Evan hesitated. Are you sure? Some human stories can be intense. She nodded. I want to understand humans more deeply. Emotion is part of understanding. So he chose a simple human film, one about friendship, small joys, and ordinary life. As the movie played, Lariah leaned forward, fascinated. Humans laughed, humans cried, humans made mistakes and fixed them. The movie ended with a quiet scene of two friends watching the sunrise. Lariah sat still for a long time after the film finished. Her glow shifted gently, like soft evening colors. Evan, she whispered, humans feel so much, even small things. Yeah, he said, it's one of our strengths. And you, she continued quietly, feel in the same way? He nodded. Yes, I do. Her gaze lingered on him for a moment longer than before. Something deep softened in her expression, as if she saw him in a new light. That evening, as he walked her back to her guest residence, she suddenly stopped and turned toward him. "Evan Ward," she said softly. "May I ask something?" "Anything." "Do you think—" Her voice grew gentle. "Do you think the joke proposal changed us?" Evan froze. Lariah lowered her eyes. "Because I feel different now. When I speak to you, when I walk beside you, when I learn from you." She hesitated, her glow trembling like a quiet heartbeat. "I do not know if this is normal." Evan swallowed. His voice came out soft. "I feel different too." She looked up carefully, hope and confusion mixing in her glowing eyes. "Is it good different?" Evan breathed out slowly. "Yeah, it is." Her glow warmed into a soft gold, pure relief and quiet happiness. "Then," she whispered, "I am glad." And for the first time since the day they met, they shared a silence that was not awkward or accidental, but something gentle, warm, and full of unspoken understanding. Neither of them said it aloud, but both felt it clearly. What started as a misunderstanding was becoming something real, something deeper, something unexpected, something beautiful. The final weeks of Lariah's stay on Earth passed more quickly than either she or Evan expected. What started as formal lessons slowly turned into natural, easy times spent together, sharing food, watching sunsets, walking through parks, and learning from each other without needing a schedule. People still teased them sometimes, but now the teasing felt warm, not noisy. Almost everyone knew the story of the alien girl who accidentally proposed to a human, and many secretly hoped the friendship would grow into something real. But Evan and Lariah tried not to think about those expectations. They simply enjoyed each day. Yet something unspoken was growing between them, gentle, steady, and bright. One late afternoon, Evan took Lariah to an observatory on a quiet hill. Winter was approaching, and the wind carried a soft chill, but the sky was clear and full of stars. "Is this place special?" Lariah asked, her glow a calm blue. "Yeah," he said softly. "My dad used to bring me here when I was little. He loved stars." She looked up at the wide sky. "Your stars look different from mine." Evan lay down on the soft grass and she copied him, staring upward. "See that one?" he asked, pointing. "That bright star there is part of the navigation path astronauts used in early missions." Lariah smiled. "Humans reaching for the sky, even before they understood it fully." "That's us," he laughed. "Humans jump first, think later, and still survive," she added. "That is the part that amazes me." Evan glanced at her. "What about your people? How do you see the stars?" "We do not name them as individuals," she explained. "We see them as a network, a path, a song. We travel using patterns, not single points." "That's beautiful," he said. She paused before speaking softly. "Evan Ward, I have grown comfortable around you." His heart skipped a beat. "I'm glad." "No," she continued gently. "I mean, more than comfortable." He turned toward her, eyes searching. She kept looking up at the sky, her glow shifting into a warm, soft shade like dawn. "When I talk to you," she said, "I feel something new, something I did not expect to learn on this planet." Evan felt warmth rising in his chest. "Lariah." She finally looked at him. "I do not know human words for this feeling." "You don't have to," he whispered. Her voice was quiet. "When I return to my world, I will miss you." Evan swallowed. The thought had been haunting him too, but hearing her say it made it suddenly real. "How long will you be gone?" he asked gently. "Many months," she whispered. maybe a year. A soft breeze passed between them, carrying silence with it. Evan finally spoke. "I'll miss you too." Lariah looked at him with soft, glowing eyes. That was enough for now. The day of her farewell ceremony came faster than either wanted. The welcome center was decorated again, this time with banners saying "Thank you, Lariah," and "Friends Forever." Humans and Atreus diplomats shared warm speeches, telling stories of her time on Earth. People laughed about the accidental proposal incident again. This time, even Lariah laughed with them. When the ceremony ended, Lariah found Evan waiting for her near the exit corridor. "You look calm," Evan said. "I am not calm," she admitted honestly. "My glow is only pretending." He smiled at her straightforwardness. "Do you want to sit somewhere quiet?" "Yes." He guided her to the garden behind the center, the same one where she first asked if humans felt deeply. The air was cool, and small lights glowed gently along the paths. "I will leave in 2 hours," Lariah said softly. "I know." She looked down at her hands. "I did not finish learning everything about humans." "We didn't finish learning everything about each other," he added quietly. Her glow brightened with a fragile warmth. "Then, can we learn again when I return?" Evan nodded. "I'd like that." But she still looked troubled. "Lariah," he said softly, "is something bothering you?" She hesitated, then whispered, "I do not like unfinished things." "Neither do I." "But this—" She placed her hand on her chest, near where her glow shimmered. "This feeling is unfinished." Evan took a slow breath. "Mine too." She looked at him carefully, as if reading something in his expression. "Evan, may I ask something important?" "Of course." "If the first proposal was a mistake," her voice was barely above a whisper, "what would it mean if I made a second proposal? A real one. Not for marriage, just for understanding between us." Evan's heart felt like it stopped. He stepped closer. "I'd understand it as you wanting something real. Something more." Her glow flickered, bright, hopeful. "Then, I want that." Evan exhaled shakily, feeling a warm pressure behind his ribs. "Me too." But he didn't touch her yet. He wasn't sure if her culture allowed that. Lariah noticed his hesitation. "Humans touch hands to show emotion, yes?" she asked. "Usually." "Then—" She extended her hand gently. "May I hold yours?" Evan's chest tightened in a surprisingly emotional way. "Yes," he whispered, taking her soft, warm hand. Her glow shone brighter than he had ever seen, soft gold, peaceful and full. "In my language," she said quietly, "this gesture means I choose you as someone important." Evan tightened his grip just a little. In human language, it means the same. They stood like that for a long moment, hands together, hearts steady, silence filled with meaning. But time did not stop, and her departure was approaching. The announcement echoed across the garden. Atreus shuttle preparing for departure. Lariah looked toward the ship, then back at him. Her glow dimmed slightly with sadness. "It is time," she whispered. They walked side by side down the long hallway toward the launch pad. People watched them pass, smiling knowingly, whispering softly. But Evan and Lariah barely noticed anything except each other. At the shuttle door, she stopped. "Evan Ward." Her voice trembled for the first time. "Will you wait for me?" He stepped closer, eyes warm. "I'll wait. And when I return—" She drew a breath, glowing steady and bright. "I want to learn the human meaning of deep connection. Slowly, clearly, honestly." "I'll teach you," he said gently. Together. Her eyes softened with what her people called soul warmth. "Thank you." And then something unexpected happened. Something neither culture had planned for. Lyria lifted her hand and touched the side of his face, very gently. A gesture her people used only with someone they trusted completely. Evan froze for a moment, overwhelmed. She whispered, "This means I hold you in my thoughts." He swallowed. "Lyria." She slowly lowered her hand, glowing a sweet shade of gold. "Until I return." He nodded. "Until you return." With one last warm look, she stepped backward into the shuttle. The door slowly closed, and her glowing silhouette was the last thing he saw. The engines hummed, the lights brightened, and the ship rose into the sky, smooth, silent, graceful. Evan watched until it disappeared among the stars. He stood alone on the platform for a long time. The night was cold, but he didn't feel it. He felt something else instead, hope, because her last words echoed inside him like a promise. This feeling is unfinished, and unfinished things always continue. Months later, humans and Atreus exchanged updates more frequently, and one day, while Evan worked in his lab, his communicator lit up with a soft, shimmering signal, one used only by Atreus delegates. A pre-recorded message played. Lyria's gentle voice filled the room. "Evan Ward, I am returning soon, and I bring with me a new proposal. Not accidental, not humorous. A proposal of the heart." Evan's breath caught. Her message ended simply. "Let us continue what began with a mistake and became the most beautiful part of my journey." Evan smiled, heart full, eyes warm. "Yeah," he whispered to the empty room. "Let's continue." And somewhere across the stars, Lyria glowed brightly, knowing their real story was only beginning.